Hello, everyone. My name is Abraham Jankans, and I am President and CEO of LaunchPad Careers. We are a staffing and training company based out of Orange County, California, and we would like to share with you our secrets for successful resume writing. First, I want to preface this by saying that writing a perfect, there's no such thing as a perfect resume. And I want to be upfront and letting you guys know I've interviewed hundreds, if not thousands, of people in my career. Our team has interviewed thousands of people, and we've trained thousands of people in how to find a job. And we've spoken with hundreds of companies, so we really understand the process of hiring. And one of the things I think that is the biggest misconception out there is that it's all about the resume. It's really not all about the resume. So why am I telling you this when I'm about to go into a resume writing webinar here? Well, the reason is I want you to learn this information so you can apply it, but I don't want you to get stuck on your resume, because you really need to apply the Pareto principle here, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Don't spend 80% of your time on your resume. Spend the majority of your time going out and interviewing, connecting with people, calling on employers. Those types of things really pay off and really result in better career or better job search results. Writing the perfect resume and spending all your time on the computer, rehashing and reworking and trying to figure out your resume, really what will happen is you'll get paralysis by analysis. So I wanted to preface with that. But today, obviously, we're going to talk about how to write a resume. So let's go into that and share with you a little bit of our secrets. First, here's an overview of what we're going to be going into. One, we want to teach you, or we want to make sense of what the resume is all about. Next, we're going to talk about the anatomy of a resume. Thirdly, we're going to talk about the different resume formats that exist. Fourth, we want to talk to you about the 3 steps to building a targeted resume. And that's important. Targeted resume. I'm going to underline that with my cursor. Targeted resume. Fifth, resume 2.0, or now we should really say 3.0. Going virtual, going social, applying all of the different tools that are out there on the internet to really leverage and get your resume and get yourself out there. And then finally, a view from the inside. How do recruiters, how do staffing people look at your resume? Okay, so let's get into it. Making sense of it all. A couple of things. One, resumes have changed over the years. In the past, it used to be all about the 1 to 2 page document. It was done on a word processor. Do people even use that word anymore? And it was mailed or faxed out. And then we moved to the online job boards and Web 2.0. And this is really where most people are at now. You still have the 1 to 2 page document showcasing professional employment, your experience, maybe your academic history. And people are still going on and going out with the same sheet of paper. I mean, things really haven't changed for the past 100 to 50 to 100 years. We're now moving to really the future of the resume, which is really an online document. It's updated in real time. The best way to think of that is LinkedIn. People are doing, they're putting their resume on their blog. That's really how things have evolved. So let's talk about how to create a successful resume. One of the most important things that you can do with your resume is you need to be targeted. You want to really create a separate resume for different positions. You want to be targeted, you want to be specific, and you want to set yourself apart when describing your personal brand. And many of you may not be familiar with the personal brand. We're going to go into that in other workshops, but the personal brand really has to do with how people think of you, how you define yourself on your resume through your interview. The best way to think of a brand is think of McDonald's or think of Starbucks or think of Apple. Apple has a terrific brand, right? Apple computer, Steve Jobs, the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook computers, they have a terrific brand. Well, you as a job seeker have a brand as well. And so you want to be specific and set yourself apart by demonstrating your personal brand and experience. Next thing you want to do is you always want to write your resume from the perspective of the employer. What is in it for them? When they're reading the resume, what types of things stand out to them that they see as a benefit to them. So, for example, on your objective, one of the worst things I've ever seen on objective is someone saying, I'm looking for a stable job that will pay me a lot of money. Well, that's great because that's really what's in it for you, but I'm the employer here. Wait a minute. I'm the one who's going to be interviewing you. I'm the one who's putting my money on the line. I'm the one who's taking all the risk. You're getting all the benefit. What's in it for me? I'm the employer. So always write your resume from the perspective of the employer. What is in it for them? Cover letters. Cover letters are not always necessary. If you include one, be specific about your qualifications and how you're a good match for that position. I really don't recommend sending in cover letters unless you specifically know the hiring manager and the person that you're going to be interviewing with. I think cover letters, one, take a whole lot of time to write when you could be making phone calls and going out and meeting with people. And quite frankly, as a recruiter and all the recruiters that I know, we don't read the cover letters. We really don't read those. The only time that the cover letter really gets read is after you're already in the interview process and they want to learn a little bit more about you that they didn't find out during the interview. So I don't recommend doing cover letters. I think that's a debate in the career coaching world, but we wanted to share with you that at least cover letters aren't always necessary. And then finally, check and double check for errors and omissions. That could hurt your chances. I remember specifically when we were coaching, when I had a candidate that was interviewing for a job in Newport Beach as an executive assistant, executive secretary. They don't really use that. And this lady was applying for a position where one needs to have strong grammar, strong writing skills. Their job was to proofread the executive's work. And the human resources person saw on the resume several typos. And unfortunately, our recruiters did not catch those. And so what happened is this individual who was going to be offered a high-paying assistant position at like $60,000, $70,000 a year ended up not getting the job because those typos went through on their resume. So always check and double check for errors. And I recommend have somebody else who has really good skills in writing check their resume as well. So let's talk about here the anatomy of a resume. The anatomy of a resume. Resumes consist of basically these 6 main areas. You've got your heading and contact information. You've got your title. You've got your objective statement summary. You've got your professional experience. You've got your education. And you have additional optional categories. Okay, so heading, title, objective, professional experience, education, additional optional categories. And let me show you what I mean by that. I've got a resume here that I'm going to show you.